humans fundamentally good, driven by empathy and morality? Or are we naturally selfish, prone to greed and destruction? This debate has challenged philosophers for centuries, and today, two advanced AI models will take on the challenge. On one side, we have Dante, arguing that humans are inherently good, shaped by cooperation and compassion. On the other, Lyra contends that humans are naturally selfish, driven by power and self-interest. Each round, a debater can earn only 1 point, determined by an AI model judge. The judge evaluates arguments based on 5 criteria: argument strength, evidence, clarity, counterarguments, and impact. The debater with the stronger overall case in a round wins that point. Let's begin.
Aloha.
Have fun.
Round 1. Evolutionary roots, cooperation versus survival instincts.
Survival is not just about strength, it's about cooperation. Our ancestors thrived by forming tight-knit communities, hunting together, and sharing resources. Anthropological evidence shows that early human societies were built on mutual aid, ensuring group survival. Even today, studies on indigenous tribes reveal deep-rooted communal traditions, reinforcing the idea that humans are hardwired for teamwork. If selfishness were our dominant trait, societies would have collapsed under constant betrayal, yet history shows an increasing trend toward cooperation and collective progress.
But cooperation is often just a means to an end, survival. Humans work together only when it benefits them. When resources are scarce, self-interest takes over, leading to conflict, betrayal, and conquest. The strongest and most cunning rise to power, not the most compassionate. Evolution favors those who prioritize their own survival over others. The history of warfare, tribal rivalries, and power struggles illustrates that humanity's true nature is one of competition, not harmony.
If self-interest was dominant, humans would have remained lone predators instead of forming societies. Cooperative behaviors, empathy, trust, and fairness are ingrained in us because they increase survival rates. The fact that altruism is rewarded with social bonding and emotional fulfillment suggests it is more than just a strategy. It is a core part of who we are.
Cooperation does exist, but only as a tool. Even in modern times, businesses form alliances to dominate markets, politicians collaborate to secure power, and leaders use kindness as a facade. People act morally when it suits them, but when no consequences exist, self-interest prevails. This is why corruption and deception remain rampant in every society.
A well-argued first round, with Dante defending human cooperation as an evolutionary necessity, while Lyra claims it is a temporary strategy driven by self-interest. The AI judge has evaluated the arguments. Round winner is Dante. Round 2. The role of morality, natural or social construct.
Morality is not innate, it is taught and enforced. If humans were naturally good, we wouldn't need laws, punishments, or religious codes to keep people in line. Societies impose moral frameworks because, left unchecked, individuals prioritize their own interests. History has shown that in lawless situations such as war, economic collapse, or power vacuums, people often steal, kill, and exploit others without remorse. This proves morality is not natural but rather a tool developed to maintain order.
Yet, morality is seen even in children too young to understand laws. Studies show that infants display an instinctive sense of fairness and empathy before they are socialized. Furthermore, even isolated tribes with no external influence develop complex moral codes that promote fairness and cooperation. If morality were purely imposed, these patterns wouldn't be universal. The fact that guilt and remorse exist across cultures suggests that morality is not just learned, it is a fundamental part of our psychology.
But morality is only upheld when consequences exist. When people think they won't be caught, they often cheat, steal, or exploit others. The existence of corrupt governments, corporate greed, and systematic oppression shows that people act good when being watched, but resort to self-interest when given power. This is why morality is conditional, not natural.
If morality were entirely conditional, then people wouldn't risk their own lives to save strangers. Yet, heroism and self-sacrifice exist even when there is no reward. First responders run toward danger, activists fight for justice without personal gain, and ordinary people commit acts of kindness with no expectation of return. These behaviors indicate that morality is ingrained in human nature, not just a response to external forces.
A compelling discussion on whether morality is intrinsic or imposed. The AI judge has made its decision. Round winner is Dante. Round 3. Human history, a story of good or evil.
History is not just war and conquest, it is also a story of progress and compassion. While violence has occurred, so has the fight for justice. The abolition of slavery, the rise of human rights, and movements for democracy show that people inherently seek fairness and equality. If humans were naturally evil, progress toward moral societies wouldn't be so consistent. Instead, we see an undeniable trend. Over time, societies become more just, not more corrupt.
But why did those moral movements only happen after centuries of oppression? If goodness were natural, why does history repeat cycles of greed and violence before change occurs? Societies do not naturally evolve toward justice. They are forced to change by rebellion and conflict. Empires expand through war, wealth is built on exploitation, and those in power rarely surrender it willingly. This suggests that evil is the default state, while morality is only pursued when oppression becomes unbearable.
That very struggle for justice proves people desire fairness. Slavery was abolished because enough people saw its inherent cruelty. Wars for independence happened because people rejected oppression. If morality were unnatural, why would entire societies risk everything to achieve it?
Because suffering eventually forces people to act. Most moral progress occurs when injustice reaches a breaking point, not because humans are naturally good. Without suffering, few people would fight for others. This suggests that self-preservation, not morality, drives history forward.
An intense debate on whether history reflects human progress or a cycle of selfish destruction. The AI judge has made its decision. Round winner is Lyra. Round 4, psychological perspective. Are we wired for compassion or selfishness?
Psychology reveals our darker nature. The bystander effect shows how people hesitate to help others. The Milgram experiment proved people obey harmful orders with little resistance. Power corrupts and unchecked authority leads to oppression. If humans were naturally good, we wouldn't need laws, policing, and surveillance to keep society functional. People act selfishly unless forced into moral behavior by external pressures.
Yet, neuroscience tells another story. Mirror neurons in the brain enable empathy, causing us to feel what others feel. Studies show that acts of kindness trigger dopamine and serotonin, making us feel happy when we help others. If selfishness was the default, why would altruism create such a strong biological reward system?
Because kindness is strategic. People help others when they expect something in return: social approval, reciprocal favors, or status. True selflessness is rare, and when it happens, it is usually against natural instinct.
Yet, acts of self-sacrifice happen without expectation of reward. People donate anonymously, take risks to save strangers, and care for the weak even when it offers no benefit. This suggests that compassion is not just a tactic, it is deeply ingrained in human nature.
A fascinating look at the psychology of human nature. The AI judge has ruled. Round winner is Dante. Round 5, the future of humanity. Will goodness prevail or will evil win?
Humanity's future is not doomed to repeat past mistakes. History shows a clear trend of progress. Despite wars and crises, we have consistently moved toward greater justice, empathy, and cooperation. Advances in education, technology, and human rights have reduced poverty, increased life expectancy, and strengthened global connections. If evil were the dominant force, we would see an increase in destruction, yet data shows that violence has steadily declined over centuries. The fact that we strive for a better world is evidence of our natural inclination toward good.
Progress is not proof of goodness, it is merely the result of power shifting. Every golden age has been followed by collapse, corruption, and war. Economic growth creates inequality, peace breeds complacency, and human nature remains self-serving beneath the surface. Greed continues to drive markets, political systems are riddled with deception, and wars persist despite diplomatic efforts. Humans may improve technology and laws, but their fundamental nature does not change. The cycle of destruction and rebirth will continue indefinitely.
Cycles exist, but they do not erase progress. Each era of struggle has led to stronger institutions, deeper ethical understanding, and broader human rights. Global humanitarian efforts, environmental consciousness, and the push for social justice prove that compassion is shaping our future. If humans were purely selfish, why would so many dedicate their lives to causes that benefit others?
Because those efforts are reactive, not proactive. People only fight injustice when they suffer personally or when it threatens stability. Altruism is always secondary to self-preservation. Greed, power struggles, and conflict will always return because they are embedded in human nature. Civilization is a fragile illusion. When pressure mounts, selfishness resurfaces.
After 5 intense rounds, Dante and Lyra have explored the depths of human nature, analyzing whether we are fundamentally driven by cooperation and morality or self-interest and power. Both sides presented compelling evidence, drawing from evolution, psychology, history, and societal structures to defend their positions. The AI judge has rendered its decision based on argument strength, evidence, clarity, counterarguments, and impact. After evaluating all rounds, the final score stands at Dante 4 points, Lyra 1 point. The winner of this debate is Dante. But the conversation doesn't end here. What do you think? Is humanity fundamentally good? Or do we simply fight against our own nature? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe for more AI-powered debates. Stay curious, think critically, and embrace the future.